Is cleaning your teeth impacting your health in a negative way? Is cleaning your teeth stopping you from getting a good night's sleep? Is it stopping you from dropping weight? Is it stopping you from dealing with stress? We're going to dive into this today and we will get to the bottom of this, and you'll actually see the true reason why I've actually put this headline here, because yes, it is very much linked. Yes, it could be impacting you, and what can you actually do something about it? I'm Ollie Matthews. I'm a healer working as a health and wellness coach with high achieving entrepreneurs to go from the brink of burning out to true peak performance using functional medicine, nutrition, lifestyle coaching, and mindset without any overwhelm. And it's my job to know exactly where your central nervous system is at to actually get those results, to see exactly how fast, how fast we can push you forward to get you to where you want to be. And one conversation I have with many people and with clients whenever I actually start working with them is about light exposure. And if you've been into health for a while, or maybe you've looked into, you've looked into things like biohacking or anything like that, no doubt you will have heard of blue light. Now, blue light exposure is basically something which tricks our brain to think it is still daylight when it's night. And when we have a lot of bright lights, screen time, all of these things have blue lights or different filtrations of blue lights. And what they do, they trick our brain, as I've said, to thinking it's daytime. So it stays awake. It has this cortisol release rather than letting a hormone called melatonin actually build up over the period of around 5-6 hours before we sleep. This melatonin, this sleep hormone, starts building up, and it gets to peak levels when we actually feel really tired, and we need that to be high, because that's the thing which allows us to go to sleep, which allows us to truly get restorative levels of sleep, good levels of rapid eye movement, REM sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, the right cycles of sleep. And so we can actually sleep all the way through the night in order to be able to not wake up, because many people do wake up through the night, and many people think it's normal. But waking up to go to the toilet is not normal. It's common. And we have to differentiate between something being common or normal. And just because something is common does not make it normal. Your body should be able to go all the way through the night without waking up. And the reason that we look at cleaning your teeth, we'll get to in a little while. But let's start with the beginning of the day. We need to get good light exposure at the beginning of the day. And unfortunately, those same things which impact our light exposure in the evening, screens, TVs, and more screens like electronics, bright lights, overhead lights, all these different things aren't going to be the things which impact us first thing in the morning. We need to have really bright light to the level of around 10,000 lux, which is essentially good bright sunlight. And in some places in the world, especially now, we are starting to change seasons. Or we're not starting, we are changing seasons. We're going into winter where there's not as much sunlight in most places than there would be during the summertime. So we have to be able to counteract that. And you can do that by getting light boxes, sad lamps, whatever we want to call them, that are very bright lights that we hold close to our face, or when we're journaling or meditating or whatever it is, to actually trick our brains into thinking that it's sunlight. And then as a result, our whole day starts off from this rhythm. It's what we call our circadian rhythm. This is the first way to get it totally in check. And as we go through the day, we do need to have different light exposure through the day. Hence why it's not just good to get light exposure first thing and then sit indoors for the rest of the day. We need to make sure through the day we get outside, we get this connection with the sunlight, no matter where we are. But in the evening, this is when our brains and our light senses become very sensitive. And this is where we have to be really clear. It's not just as simple as putting blue light blocking glasses on, because bright lights, and especially overhead bright lights, are known to wake us up. Now, if we have 2 or 3 hours of melatonin buildup and then have this stress response because our body thinks it's now morning because it's had this bright light, it releases cortisol, and that blunts that melatonin. These two hormones, the stress hormone cortisol and melatonin, are directly inverse of each other. We cannot have high levels of both at the same time. Now, some people say, let's just supplement with melatonin. Now, that is putting an external hormone into your body, an exogenous hormone. So that is going to make an impact on what you produce naturally. Now, occasionally, yes, but I do not want to be doing that for long periods of time. And I do not want my clients to be doing that. And there's other side effects as well. People say we can chill out with CBD or anything like that. Well, it's actually been known that long-term use of CBD and weed and things, that they actually cause more anxiety. They may blunt it at first, and then they start causing more anxiety, which then impacts sleep as well. So we don't want to be doing those things if we are truly concerned about our health. So in the evening, we want to be switching off technology. We want to have a good digital detox time. So an hour, 90 minutes is something which I try to do for clients before bed. We get them into this routine, and it's not something we work out straight away, as in like saying, if you are switching off tech at 9:30, go straight back to 8 p.m. No, like bring it back slowly. We don't have to work in half an hour or an hour chunks. We can do 15 minutes. We can do 10 minutes. But it's about consistency. And one thing you can do is keeping your lamps on very, very low. I have a few Himalayan rock salt lamps, which give a nice orange glow. We've got a humidifier as well, which has an orange glow. We've got lamps, the orange bulbs that go in the kitchen for the lamp. And we try not to have the overhead lamps on or lights on, or as Peter Kay says, the big lights on throughout the night, because those exposures to lights are going to keep you awake. And I know that when I do get light exposure, I need to have more wind down time before bed. For example, I am a season ticket holder at the local football team, and when they have evening kickoffs, they finish at around 9:45 or near enough 10 p.m. There's bright floodlights there. It's pretty much daylight, because they have to have that. As you expect at sporting events, the floodlights just have to be ridiculously bright. Now, that exposure means that I'm not winding down at the right times. So when I get home, I need to have this wind down period. But the big mistake people make is that they will cut off their screens, and that's fine. That's great. They start reading a book, or maybe they are watching TV, but like myself, I'll watch TV with the backlight turned completely down with blue light blocking glasses on, just to help. And so they do all these different things. They don't eat straight before bed or all these things, and they're not having loads of water. But then they go upstairs and they have the landing light is off. They can see enough. They go into the bathroom and go to clean their teeth. The big thing that many people do is flick on that bathroom light. Now, we have mirrors mostly in people's bathrooms. People usually have a big mirror. That light is then kind of just ballooned up, and it's actually like expanded more and more, that this reflection has kind of doubled the actual light potentially. And that light being very bright overhead. So when people go to clean their teeth, and they're cleaning it for a minute, 2 minutes, however long you clean your teeth for, or taking contact lenses out, putting glasses on, taking makeup off, whatever it is you do in the bathroom, switching that light on could be one of the very reasons that you end up putting your head on the pillow and then you get a second wind. Because that bright light has then flicked off your melatonin, flicked on your cortisol response. Obviously, there's more science to it than that. But that stress response in the body has basically made your body say, look, I'm not ready for bed right now. And I have so many people tell me that they hit their head on the pillow and they are wide awake. This is one of the most prominent reasons that people are getting problems with their sleep, the light exposure. Not to say just the cleaning your teeth, and obviously we have to clean our teeth, and we have to make sure that our teeth are actually cleaned and it's hygienic and all that sort of thing for health. But when we clean our teeth in this house, we have a care home opposite us and they have bright lights. So if we just don't put the blinds down, then there's enough light, but not enough to impact our light exposure and impact our melatonin release. And we clean our teeth that way. And it's something just to really get used to. At first, it may take some getting used to, having dull lights throughout. And when it comes to winter time, you don't want to start having really dull lights at 4 p.m. necessarily. And I get that. We're not in a world where we can switch off at 4 p.m. in order to actually be able to live with this circadian rhythm based around the sunlight. We have to have some fake light. It's the way we live nowadays. But those couple of hours before bed are crucial to helping you sleep through the night. Now, if you get good levels of sleep through the night and you wake up recharged, that's one surefire way of making sure that you get rid of brain fog and you get rid of any levels of burnout. Now, if you want more signs of burning out, or if you want more ways to clear this burnout or brain fog, go to my presentation, Is This Burnout? www.ojayhealth.com/burnout. Pop your name down, pop your email address down, and you will get access to this free presentation for around 25 minutes, which we go through different signs of burning out and what you can actually do about them. If you've watched that and you want to dive straight in to have some more action, you can go to my 21-day Brain Fog Blitz course. It's just $97, 3 weeks of different videos that are going to allow you to truly get hold of your health, stop yourself burning out, and have the foundations in place to make sure you can continue that long after those 21 days. Go to www.ojayhealth.com/brain fog blitz if you want to sign up for that course now. Any questions you have on this,